Hello YouTube friends. It is once again time for the annual video I make every year for my anniversary date with Hyunsuk. And it just so happens that the one this year will mark the 5th year, which is absolutely insane to me. For a multitude of reasons, but I would say that one of the primary ones is that it doesn't feel like 5 years at all. There's two sides in my head that go back and forth. I know that I, technically, have liked Hyunsuk for quite a while. But when I think about if it actually feels that long, it doesn't. Most of the time when you're happy and doing well, the time flies by. But I won't lie to you guys either. Not all of those 5 years were happy, naturally. But I still feel like I was able to get through those things thanks to Hyunsuk's presence in my life. Honestly, he's always going to be such a special person in my life, so I feel very grateful and thankful that I'm able to still sit here like I do every year, and make a video like this. But just as a disclaimer, like every other year, I'm not sure exactly how the direction of this video may end up, but I'm just happy to sit here and talk about Hyunsuk. That's when my heart truly feels happiest, and I feel like this may be a reoccurring theme in the letter, but really, 5 years seems like such a long time, especially when you put those years in comparison with other things. Like I was only 16 when I found him during YGTB, and I think during the show he was 19. Well, I could be wrong, so don't quote me, but I just know he's 3 years older than me. But that's not the point. My point here more so is that I've been lucky enough to pretty much grow up with Hyunsuk as my idol. Sure, I was technically into my late teens, but I feel like these were my most formative years since I spent the prior ones not in the right headspace. And I feel like a good majority of the life lessons that I learned in those years were brought to my attention thanks to observing Hyunsuk. I genuinely don't think I would be the same person that I am today, had I not found Hyunsuk if I was around. Even, who's to say? I can't. But I'm just thankful for all of the growth I've had from having him around, and all the hard times he's helped me through, as well as the good, too. The good is definitely more important to focus on rather than all of the bad things. The bad things are always very in your face and easy to focus on, but if you have someone to help you through the bad, like Hyunsuk, then the darkness won't envelope you. I think my life has changed a lot in 5 years, but I suppose that's only natural. It's definitely changed in the best way. And I know this video is about Hyunsuk, but in a way I'm still afraid of sounding too corny. But really and genuinely from the bottom of my heart, all of my positive changes were thanks to Hyunsuk's influence. And still to this day I don't think I could have ever found a better influence for me than for Hyunsuk. Not to say that I think other idols aren't capable of helping others change for the better, and only the way Hyunsuk has helped me. But I guess it varies for person to person. The idol who can help you be the best version of yourself. And as much as I truly love others, nobody can do that for me like the way Hyunsuk has. Honestly, I'm not so sure how the direction of this video is exactly going to go, but my thoughts aren't as collected this year as I would have liked them to be. And that's not to say I'm feeling any lesser about Hyunsuk. To be truthful, it's quite the contrary. I think my feelings always manage to increase every year, but the human heart and the emotions that come with it are always complex. And I feel like love is a language all in itself. And I need time to translate my feelings into words. There's just so many reasons to love Hyunsuk. So many reasons to be fond of him, to respect him, admire him, look up to him. It's hard to put it all into words, but it's always worth trying. I just think it simply goes to show how special he is, though personally, I'll always make these videos because I'll always have something to say, but I feel like, of course, with every year that goes by, it's only natural that some years I might grow repetitive, but there is something new that I would like to speak on. A special thing that I've gained just from this year that I think is definitely thanks to Mr. ÇOY. I've had this long-time best friend, Sarah, whom I've known for 8 years now, with our own respective anniversary in April, just a few mere days before Hyunsuk's birthday even. And for the majority of our friendship she had never shown an interest in pop, which I accepted, of course. I never really like to think of myself as the pushy kind of friend who forces her into things, so I just let it be. Especially considering she has always been supportive. I mean, she was one of the first ones to even know about my interest in Hyunsuk because I messaged her about him the same night that I had found him. She'll always be intertwined into the story of how I found Hyunsuk. and how I came to love him. But there's a reason that I mentioned this very special lady. So for all of this time that I've known her, I've liked pop for the majority of our friendship. Her and I met in 2015 and I became a general pop fan in 2017, and found Hyunsuk in 2018. So my love for Hyunsuk has pretty much been there almost as long as our friendship has been. And while she's always been supportive, she never was into pop herself. And again, I didn't force it, but just this year, she started to show interest. Let me explain. And I'll say that right away, it doesn't immediately start with Treasure. But I was streaming on Twitch one day, and on stream I pretty much ramble about anything and everything going on in my head, whether people are there on my streams or not. And on this particular stream, I was thinking about ONEUS, because they are my second favorite group right after Treasure, and I wanted to rewatch some of their content. And the specific one I had in mind was their one pre-debut show, the one that they did with ONU. And I just said in passing that I wanted to rewatch it, and I just assumed Sarah would pay the comment no mind, considering she isn't into pop as it is. But this lady, I swear, ever so casually she replies with, "Oh cool, when are we watching it?" To which I was stunned for a moment. This lady had never shown any personal interest in watching stuff that was pop related. Not because she was opposed to it, but she just generally never seemed interested in watching this stuff on her own. And I won't detail this part too much since it's not related to Treasure. However, to summarize, Sarah and I became completely enamored with ONU throughout the show. This was the first group she really seemed drawn to, and despite being into ONEUS for 4 years, I didn't look into ONU yet, which by the way, I guess I never finished the pre-debut show because I had no memory of literally all the episodes that had ONU in them, so a lot of it was fresh for me. So ONU pretty much became the first group that Sarah and I got into at the same time, as well as her very first pop group. And by the way, her bias in the group, Heron, has the same birthday as her. Literally, what are the odds of your very first pop boy having the same birthday as you? I was literally just as excited as she was. I found this very cool. But let's go back on topic because I don't want a video about Hyunsuk to go too off topic. But once Sarah got acclimated with ONEUS and ONU, she wanted to start learning Treasure. So this is where I became very giddy and excited, of course. Her getting into ONEUS was thrilling for me because I've liked ONEUS for about 4 years, almost as long as I've been a Treasure maker. Getting into ONU with her was special because it was the first new group we experienced together. But helping her learn Treasure was bringing up so many good feelings, resurfacing a lot of my old feelings from the moment these videos I'm watching with her came out. Teaching her about the members is just really reaffirming my love for all of them. But naturally, talking about Hyunsuk is where I get the most emotional. And Sarah already had some pre-existing knowledge, considering when Hyunsuk is brought into a conversation, I'm able to talk for quite a long while. Naturally, we all know how I get, but showing Sarah all of the things that made me love Hyunsuk, the things that made me smile, and more importantly, letting Sarah see with her own 2 eyes just how amazing he is, makes me smile, because I can talk so much about Hyunsuk, about how amazing he is, all day if I must, but letting Sarah see and confirm it with her own 2 eyes just makes it extra special, and Sarah is able to see just what I see. It makes me smile. It feels very special. Hyunsuk is the most important in my life, and Sarah is the closest friend I've ever had. Combining these two things really makes me feel more attached to the both of them. And honestly, even though this happened quite recently, it's one of the most notable things in my 5th year as a Treasure maker, and as someone who loves Hyunsuk dearly. And this is one of the things that I mean when I say loving Hyunsuk always manages to find a way to be special every day. Being a fan of Hyunsuk really has taught me to find the beauty in life and to enjoy the little things, to stay positive, all of those good things. I'm very thankful for it, and I really can't imagine the type of person that I would have ended up as if I never found Hyunsuk. I feel like a lot of the life lessons I've learned are from being a fan of him and through observing him, but I'm really excited to be able to share the Treasure Maker experience with Sarah. Before I had her watch episode 1 of Treasure Map, I had to just explain to her how important it was to me back in the day when the episodes were actively coming out. Like how amazing it was to actually have content from them again after the dry spell of 2019, and how much of a blessing it felt like to be able to see Hyunsuk so often, and of course the others as well. but I just feel so thrilled to share the experience with her and to have my best friend love my favorite boys like I do. I already got a taste of this experience by my mum showing interest in Treasure, watching the episodes with her, and I'm definitely very grateful for that too. But I guess it's just different sharing the experience with your best friend, and such a close one, at that. I just feel very grateful, and it's really making me love Hyunsuk more, all over again. I feel like I always find new ways to love him, and this time around, I feel like it's from seeing him in new perspectives. As much as Sarah and I can be alike, we also can gather and observe things differently when we watch things, and of course hearing her opinions. I just feel like I get to see Hyunsuk through a different lens, but I love him all the same. He's such a special person and such a bundle of sunshine to me. I'm so thankful for every day that I spend as his fan. There's really nothing quite like it. And it's funny in a way that I use the terminology of seeing things through a different lens, because Hyunsuk has helped me do that with life in general. I view things very differently as opposed to how I used to. It's just nice being able to view things more positively, think differently about how I interact with people, my own work ethic, and so forth. You name it, Hyunsuk has likely helped me with it. Of course I can admit that Hyunsuk hasn't been the ultimate cure to the things that trouble me, because it could be considered unrealistic, but I also would hate to put any pressure on Hyunsuk, too. However, I think that viewpoint in itself can be unhealthy, so instead of viewing him as the ultimate cure to the bad in my life, I just see him as a way to help guide me through it. I know that realistically that you cannot have your good times and appreciate them without your own fair share of hardship, but sometimes people can't navigate that hardship on their own, and when I say Hyunsuk has helped me through a lot, that's what I mean. I don't think I could have gotten through those hard times in my life without his influence, like losing family, losing some of my pets, losing Hannah. Those things were really bad for me, and still trouble me to this day, but whenever I'm having a hard time, Hyunsuk is my reminder that there's still things to smile about, and that things can get better, and will get better. It's just about toughing it out, and I can do that so long as I have him. Also, Hyunsuk himself has been through so much of that I'm unsure I would have been able to handle if I was in his position, but he's always stayed the same. It never changed him so drastically. He just stayed his amazing self, and just has become even better over the years. And that's the person I aspire to be, and the person I know I can be one day, so long as Hyunsuk is my role model to guide me. I have so many people I love, and my heart is open to many, whether it be other idols, my friends, my family, or even video game characters. Nobody can quite reach the depths of my heart and mind like Hyunsuk can. He's a once-in-a-lifetime idol to me. I just know that I will never find anyone like Hyunsuk ever again, and all I wish from this life is that I'm able to appreciate him as long as I'm roaming this planet. As long as this heart beats, it will be a treasure maker, and one that is forever indebted to Hyunsuk. And as big as 5 years feels to me, in what I hope will be the long run, this is only just the beginning, the first 5 years of many. I know no one is guaranteed a long life, and nobody knows what their next day will bring, but that's why it's important for me to cherish everyone around me every day, but especially Hyunsuk. However, if I'm fortunate enough to be around long enough, then I know that it's not truly an exaggeration to say I'll be a treasure maker for the long haul, as much as we don't like to think about stuff like enlistments. Perhaps the eventual disbandment, although I hope not. I know things like pop groups don't last forever, unfortunately, but the one thing that will always remain and follow us wherever our path in life takes us, is our memories. That is the one thing that nobody can take away from us, and Hyunsuk already within these 5 years has given me enough memories to last my lifetime. So I know the longer that I'm a fan of his, and the others, there's still so many more happy memories to be made, whether it's from viewing content, buying albums, enjoying their music, and sharing the experience with those close to me, and things like that. But I know after this year, there's one goal I really have. It's a bit of a cliched thing to hope for, but it's something I want, nonetheless, and I'd really like to be able to say at least once in my life that I got to see Treasure live at a concert. And don't get me wrong, I know it doesn't make you any lesser of a fan if you can't go to concerts, or maybe you can't even get albums. I don't want anyone to feel bad watching this video, So don't get me wrong, if you can't do those things then that's okay. But for me, I just think being able to see Hyunsuk live and in person is a really big thing I'd like. It would most definitely be a defining moment in my life. I didn't realize how special the atmosphere of a concert was until I went to one earlier in January this year, and it was the best day of this year. Without a doubt, that was one of the best things I could have ever done, both for the experience and for my mental health in general. One good day can carry you through a lot of bad ones, so I can only imagine how I would feel if I got to see my number one idol in person. I think that would be genuinely one of the best days in my life, and a defining memory for sure, one that I would take with me to my last days. It'd just be amazing to see him in his element, on stage with the members he loves, and that I love, too. All of the boys have become so special and irreplaceable to me. My heart and mind are always with Treasure, but especially Hyunsuk. I feel like the term ultimate bias doesn't do enough, despite the significance a title like that has. I just think Hyunsuk needs the most special of things, because he's the most special of a person, and I just love him to pieces. I could say it all day every day, but I don't know if that could be enough. I mean, I've been making these videos for about 4 of the 5 years I've liked him, and I always feel like there's still more I could have said. I'm just not the best at expressing myself, as much as I'd like to think I am. There's just so many feelings in my heart and sorting through them all can be hard, but it's always worth it. Expressing love to this boy brings me so much joy, and I just want the whole world to know how special he is and how much I love him, and how much I think everyone else should love him, too. I just don't think I'll be happy until I feel like the world can appreciate Hyunsuk fully. You know, I never want to overstep and seem too weird about Hyunsuk. However, I really do feel protective over him. I just want people to purely feel love for this amazing person, and whenever I see anything negative directed at him, that's when I feel some anger come out in my heart, and I'm usually not that prone to anger. I try to compose myself and just react to things as calm as possible, because well, I think that's what Hyunsuk would do. But when it regards him directly, I think the only thing that Hyunsuk should be receiving is love, and I always wonder how people can find something negative to say about one of the warmest people in this world, to me. But I know Hyunsuk wouldn't want me to act out, so I try to compose myself. Just when the subject matter is Hyunsuk, I always want him to be treated with all of the love and respect that he so very deserves. And that's also why making these videos as my yearly ritual is very important. But as much as I hate wrapping up these videos, I think it's about time. But these videos don't always have to be absurdly long, either. They can just be simply my recap and feelings from yet another year with Hyunsuk. And this one, like all the prior ones, has been nothing but happiness. This boy is genuinely my world and I could not imagine a life without him. And I'm sure you guys love Hyunsuk just as much as I do. So, let's share some things we love about him in the comments. Any kind of positive energy for Hyunsuk is always great. So let's do that. And I suppose that I'll be off now. I hope this video was to everyone's liking if you watched this far. Please take care everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.